What if I told you that the people you keep around you aren't all really with you? Some are just studying you. Some are quietly feeding off you. And the scariest ones? They're the ones you think you can't live without. Because sometimes the most dangerous people in your life don't break in. They blend in. They smile, they listen, they stay. And before you notice, your peace isn't yours anymore. So here's a truth most people aren't ready for. To protect your mind, your energy, and your sanity, you don't need to fight anyone. You just need to quietly cut them off. No arguments. No announcements. No explanations. Just silence. Here are 10 people you must quietly remove from your life, and don't tell a soul. The first one, the emotional vampire. They drain you, not because they hate you, but because they need you. They show up with problems, disasters, tragedies every single day. They call it venting. You call it being there. But somehow, after every conversation, you feel worse and they feel better. And that's the trick. They use your empathy as fuel. So stop feeding them. Go silent. Watch how fast they find another victim. Then there's the subtle competitor. The one who congratulates you, but with that microscopic pause, the invisible but. They secretly keep score. If you get something, they suddenly don't believe in that anymore. If you fail, they call it a sign. These are not your friends. They're undercover rivals. And here's the dark truth. They need you to stay small, because that's the only way they can feel big. So cut the scoreboard, walk away, let them compete with their own shadow. Third, the gaslighter. They twist your words like origami until you start doubting your own memory. They'll say you're overreacting when you're finally reacting normally. They make you apologize for things they did. And the worst part? They always sound calm. They weaponize your emotions and call it communication. The cure? Stop explaining yourself to someone committed to misunderstanding you. Silence is the only language they can't rewrite. Next comes the chronic victim. They wear misery like a fashion statement. They never heal. They perform pain. They collect sympathy the way others collect trophies. And when you try to help, they get defensive. Because they don't want solutions, they want an audience. So stop volunteering as one. You're not their therapist. You're their stage. Leave mid-performance. Quietly. Then there's the manipulator with a smile. You know, the one who does nice things just to remind you later? They never give, they invest. Every favor has fine interest. Every kind gesture has fine print. You'll owe them forever in invisible currency. They'll make you feel like saying no makes you ungrateful. But here's the rule. Real kindness never demands repayment. Fake kindness always keeps the receipt. So stop buying what they're selling. The sixth one, the gossip dealer. They call it sharing, but it's really data extraction. They talk about everyone, and you think you're safe, until you realize you're next. People like this feed on secrets, not connection. And they're allergic to silence. So when you stop responding, they'll panic. They'll wonder what you're hiding. That's when you'll know you finally became uninteresting to the wrong kind of people. Seventh, the energy thief. They don't argue, they drain. You walk in feeling fine and walk out feeling like a dead phone battery. You can't explain it. It's not what they say. It's the heaviness they bring. These are people who never evolve. They orbit chaos and pull you in like gravity. You can't fix them because they like the fall. So unplug. Don't recharge them. Recharge yourself. Then we have the silent judge. They say nothing, but you can feel the disapproval. Every choice you make, every story you share, you can sense their quiet verdict. And yet, they call themselves honest or real. But in truth, they're addicted to moral superiority. They mistake coldness for wisdom. Cut them off. Not loudly, not dramatically. Just stop performing for their approval. They'll disappear once they realize you no longer need their permission to exist. The ninth one, the disguised supporter. They'll tell you, "I'm happy for you," but their eyes don't blink. They love your potential, just not your success. They liked you better when you were struggling, because then you were safe. Their support ends the moment your progress begins. So the next time you achieve something and their silence gets louder than applause, believe it. You don't owe loyalty to secret resentment. And finally, the one you keep making excuses for. You already know who they are. You tell yourself, "They didn't mean it," or "they'll change." But deep down, you know the truth. You're holding on to a ghost. Not the person they are, but the potential they'll never live up to. The mind loves potential because it gives you hope. But the soul knows hope is expensive when it's misplaced. Let go before it bankrupts your peace. Now here's where most people get it wrong. They think cutting someone off requires confrontation. It doesn't. You don't need to explain your absence to people who never noticed your presence. You don't need to justify your peace to people who profited from your chaos. Your silence is not passive. It's surgical. When you go quiet, you reclaim control. Some people deserve a long conversation. Others deserve nothing but distance. And the cruelest part? They won't even realize they've been cut until one day they reach out and your energy simply doesn't answer anymore. That's how you win quietly. Not with revenge, not with rage, but with calm indifference. Because peace doesn't announce itself. It arrives when the noise leaves. And sometimes that noise has a name, a face, and your number saved in its phone. So here's the truth, the kind you only understand when you've outgrown certain people. You don't lose them. You lose the version of yourself that tolerated them. And that, right there, is your evolution. Now, don't make a scene, don't post a quote, don't send a message. Just vanish gracefully. Let your silence do what your words never could. End the cycle. Because the people you cut quietly are the ones who'll talk the loudest. Let them. While they whisper, you'll heal. While they guess, you'll grow. And while they wonder what happened, you'll finally have peace. Don't tell a soul. Just disappear and watch how peaceful the silence becomes.